Yeah, it's
So
incredible. And obviously you've worked with some of the most like amazing artists, obviously in the garage, like Charlotte Amar to Kelly LaRock and so forth. I mean, what's it like to work with such incredible artists like that?
it is so nice to work with these artists. Everybody who we work with has been so supportive from day one. Kelly has been on board since day one. We did a debut show with Kelly. He's always been fully behind us. And with Kelly, MC Neat, we've just grown the network of artists that we started to work with. We're working with so many artists right now. We're always updating our set list and collaborating with new people. So yeah, it is really, really nice working with these artists because they're so experienced and they're just amazing.
That's amazing, man. And when you get to work with these artists, do they have, say, a big hand in how the production and whole sound should sound? Or is that literally down to you to put forward what it sounds like and then they come in, just do their part and then obviously not just leave, but you know what I mean? It's just,
Again, it's we interpret the tracks
hmm
as we think they should be interpreted.
hmm
We will then send the artist a copy for their okay to make sure they're happy with the structure. Um, and that's how we do it. It's a work in progress. We wouldn't play anything if the artist wasn't happy with it. Some of the tracks, for example, Kelly, she likes to do a little bit of a medley. So she likes mixing some of her songs with other songs that she's done before. So we can mix it up a little bit. In one of the tracks that we perform with Kelly, yes, it is a house and garage track. We break it down into like a little reggae ska kind of beat,
hmm
and she kind of rocks out to that, which is it just sends the crowd mad.
mm
But yeah, no, we work together. We're always kind of talking to the artists that we work with, and that's what makes it fun. Everybody's a part of what we're doing. We don't just say, right, you turn up and sing and then you go. We want everyone to feel like family. When we
Yeah.
was on tour, it really was a family atmosphere. Everyone was having jokes with each other. Yeah, Kelly's like a big sister to me now.
That's amazing.
And she tells me off when she needs to as well. So, but yeah, it's just a family film. It's a really good vibe.
That's brilliant. 'Cause that's exactly how I feel with my orchestra. It's just having that family feel to it. It makes everyone feel so comfortable and you can have jokes with each other. It makes, I said this before actually on the podcast, it makes the performances better, doesn't it? When you're having
It
that
does.
fun with each other, everyone, that kind of family vibe, it shows on stage too, doesn't it?
It does. It really
Yeah,
does come through, and the crowd can see it. If you click on stage, all of that energy, all of that aura, it is projected,
mm,
and the crowd can pick up on it. They really
definitely.
can.
But what I want to get into as well is your Garage Classics album and how that whole
Okay.
process, yeah, what was that like to work on? And how was that whole process?
Wow. That was absolutely manic. This is something that we always wanted to do from when we first thought about the project. So from the inception of the project, we said, how do we package this up? What can we do? We need to have a live performance, but to back that up, it would be nice to do an album or some recordings as well. So, me and Alex, we kind of put a list together of our wish list as such of the songs that we wanted to put on an album. Um, Once we had that list down, I started to contact a few people that I thought it might suit, which record labels potentially we could work with. And one of them that I really wanted to work with was New State. They do the pure garage compilations.
Amazing.
So I thought we'd be an absolute perfect fit. So I spoke to New State, sent them a couple of emails, got called in for a meeting, sat down and discussed how I saw the whole process working and go through our audience base and everything else and our reach, etc. And yeah, I mean, they were really, really behind us. They believed in us. They really took to the idea and they supported us the whole way. They gave us so much support and we learned so many lessons from those guys. We still speak on a very regular basis with the guys at New State. And yeah, they're always supporting us. If I've got any issues or queries or problems, again, they're again, I'd say, you know, the guys over there, they've almost become like big brothers. You
Yeah.
know, they give us support all the time. Everyone we kind of meet and collaborate or work with in this journey so far have become really good friends. So I think we're fortunate in that aspect. But yeah, the whole recording of the album, which we can get into, was, I think we recorded the whole album in a 3 week span.
3 weeks.
So we recorded the whole album 3 weeks.
Wow.
Whew. Yeah.
That-
So obviously after we got the go ahead from New State and we got everything in place, we signed all our agreements, etc. They gave us a deadline because we had the Coco show coming up. They said, "Right, it'd be really good to release this album on your Coco show." I think this was in September, and I said, "Our Coco show's in November," and they said yes, and I said, "Wow, okay." Anyway, so we booked the studio. We got all of the musicians prepped and booked. We spoke to all of the artists because we re-recorded all of the vocals. And literally, yeah, it was 3 weeks that we recorded the whole album, including re-vocaling all of the songs with all of the artists. You know, myself and Alex, we were in London. Thank goodness most of the artists are based in London, but some of them were based up in Nottingham. So we were up and down and we were recording in several studios. It was an experience. I definitely wouldn't do it like this again. But we had a deadline and a target, and we had to hit it, and that's what we did. It was fun, but wow, I think I've got PTSD.
I'm getting it as well just for
Thinking
hearing
about
that. Oh, but that is mental. We recorded the whole album in 3 weeks. Was it mixed in that time as well, or was that another few weeks afterwards until it was fully mixed?
It was mixed after. I think if we had tried to mix it in that time, it would have been too much. But
Yeah.
there was a guy called Darren Tate,
I know Darren
another
Tate.
amazing producer.
Yeah.
So Darren, he did the mix. He mixed the album for us, and added some additional orchestration where needed. So yeah, the people that we've met along this journey, again, fantastic.
That's amazing. I mean, when you're choosing tracks for, say, the album or performances, I mean, how do you break it down then and decide on which tracks you should be, like, say, featured on the album or your performances? Is it like a big like a group meeting, like between yourselves and your members, or how do you decide?
So Alex is the DJ. Alex, you know, he can construct and put a set together in his head. This is his forte. He puts it together. He says, "This is how I see the set from start to finish," and he puts all the songs in order. Me and Alex talk about it. He puts it down on paper. He might potentially even mix the set as a DJ and play it, and we'll listen to it, and we can swap tracks and put tracks in and take tracks out if they're not quite working as we want them to. And that is as simple as it is. That's exactly how we do it. But Alex, this is what Alex does. You know, he's more musical than me, I would say. I'm good on Excel spreadsheets, but he's definitely better in the studio than me.
Oh man! And were there any particular tracks that were either easier than you thought to work on, or harder to work on than you expected?
No, I think the music, you know, any song, it kind of, it almost guides us in which direction to take it. You know, you can listen to a track and, you know, sometimes you listen to a track, it's missing, it hasn't got horns or strings, it hasn't got an oboe or whatever else. But you can listen to a song and you can almost imagine it. I think if you've got that type of musical mindset, you can almost, I don't know, you can make what you want.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how it comes together. You know, we'll listen to a song and I'll say, I can really hear strings there. Maybe doing wah 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 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm not very good. And Alex will look at me with a funny face and say, I don't think that works. You know, maybe if we put the trumpets there and we can do this here, and then we'll say, right, Ben, what do you think? And Ben will say, actually, guys, I really think the strings work here, and we can put some brass there, and then we'll start to structure it. And then, and that's the process. You know, we always speak to each other. If somebody hears something, we'll always talk about it,
Mm.
and that's it.
Definitely. And let's talk about recording process things. How did you actually do it then? Did you record, say, strings first and brass and percussion and so forth? Or did you try and bring the whole orchestra together each session to try and save at least some kind of time?
We recorded the rhythm section first.
Okay.
We did the rhythm section, so we've got the bass of every single track. From the rhythm section, we then did the vocals. From the vocals, we then added the brass and the strings, and everything else. And then after that, it was just a case of just post-production, which Alex did. Alex produced the whole done all the post-production on the album, and then obviously it went to, and Alex and Darren did all of the mixing, etc. But yeah, that was the process, and we did it in a way that we thought was logical, rather than a way that we knew how to, because we'd never done it before. So we just sat down and said, what is the most logical way to do this? And that's how we did it.
Yeah. Did you use the same musicians for every track, or did you have to say bring in a lot more to cover the time that was needed for the deadline?
No, we used the same musicians for all of the songs. On one day we might have had to change the bass player for a couple of songs simply because of timescales and that's about it really. But we used all of the same musicians. You know, the guys that we were working with at the time were absolutely fantastic, really, really good musicians. Yeah, and that was it.
Amazing. And did you have, say, more than one session at the same time in different studios, say like one in, say, like North London, for instance, and then one down South London to try and reach the deadline?
For recording the music, we tried to record everything in the same place and have everything set up and left in position so we can get a consistent sound. That's what we did. We had a space for two weeks for recording all of the music, I would say. Some of the vocals got recorded in different studios, but all of the music was recorded in the same studio.
Nice. Which one did you use in the end?
So we were fortunate enough to use the facilities at Middlesex University.
Oh, amazing.
So they've got a multi-million pound complex, and because Alex was a lecturer there, they really supported the idea of us doing an album, and they wanted to help out in any way, shape or form, and they loaned us the use of their facility, which again was a godsend.